interesting. £10? Get out of here, I'm getting old. My back cannot cope with this. It's hefty, 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 yeah. I really like the Tokai. It's the most Gibson-like. It's the most Gibson-like. I didn't get excited about this guitar, and I'm still not excited about it. You know, it's everything you want in a Les Paul. Good. Have I done that? I'm not very good at doing these plugs, am I? Moving on. Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. Welcome to the Guitaristas, and you are very welcome. So today we're going to compare some Goldtops, some affordable Goldtops. So 3 guitars we're going to look at today. This one here, which is the Epiphone 1950s Les Paul Standard. This one here, which is a Tokai Les Paul Standard knockoff Goldtop. And this one here, which is a Sire L7, or the Larry Paul, as I like to call it. And this is a bit of a sparkly Goldtop. So these guitars are all in around about the £500 price range. The Tokai, a little bit more expensive and a little bit harder to come by. But if you watch the review of the Tokai just last week, you'll know that I paid less than 400 for it. So you know they are out there. So for a while now, I've been meaning to do let's have a look and see what alternatives there are to Epiphone. Really, I mean this is the official licensed Les Paul copy, if you like, and obviously there are a few knockoffs. We can't get too deep into that today because there are so many options. But obviously, just last week I picked up the Tokai, and that made 3 Goldtops in the collection here. Obviously, I've missed out a Harley Benton and vintage, assuming that they actually do Goldtops, and probably plenty of other affordable guitars. I mean, people keep talking about Jet, and I don't know. There's a lot of quite cheap guitars out there that aren't included in this comparison. Okay, so and I'm aware of that. So not really necessary to say you should have included the Harley Benton because I know that, but I didn't have one. And actually, the high-end Harley Bentons are all out of stock on Thomann. I did see. I mean, I did look because I thought it'd be good to see if I can get a Harley Benton into this because I know people are going to ask, but I couldn't. So for now, it's the Epiphone, the Tokai, and the Sire, which I suppose is good news because it means that we can do another one of these at some time in the near future with 3 other alternatives. So yeah, there you go. That's why I haven't got a Harley Benton or whatever else there is. So for today's comparison, it's the Epiphone, the Tokai, and the Sire. We're going to have a bit of a closer look at them to see what the similarities are and what the differences are. Now, obviously, all these guitars have been reviewed in much greater detail already on this channel. So I'm not intending to take them apart today and do all the, the poking around under the hood. Already done that. So I'll put the links to each of those reviews in the description box below. So if there's anything that I miss in this film and there's some info you might want to know, check the other films because it's probably there. Okay. So yeah, let's get. I mean, I'll do the basic stuff anyway. So let's get stuck in, and I think what I want to do to start with is talk about how they feel, and have a little open sort of play just so that you can get a sense of what they each sound like. So let's start with that. We'll have a chat about what we heard in a bit, but for now, I want to talk about the feel, and the necks of these guitars and the physical appearances. So let's talk about the physical appearances first. So we'll start with the Epiphone, which is obviously an official Gibson copy. So should be bang on, shouldn't it? Well, somebody actually pointed out to me a while ago, when I did the review on this, or the comparison. In fact, it's in the comparison of this and the Gibson Les Paul, and I'll run some pictures up now. But if you have a look at these pictures, you'll note that the lower horn is a bit stumpier, I suppose is the way to describe it. Now, I genuinely never noticed that, but once somebody points that out to you, you know, you can't unsee that now. Yeah, it's a little bit stumpier, isn't it? Whereas the Tokai, it seems to be Gibson accurate. Headstock wise, the Epiphones are nice. This is the vintage style Kalamazoo headstock, which I really like personally. I know it does divide opinion, but I think most people come out on the side of liking the Kalamazoo, the new Epiphone, the new old Epiphone Kalamazoo style headstock. Whereas on the Tokai here, you've got, you know, something very closely resembling the Gibson. I think they just inverted the little dent, nub. I'm going to call it a nub for now, because I don't know what the actual word is. They've just changed that a little bit, quite subtle, as you can see on these pictures here. I haven't measured the angles, the neck angles and stuff, but I think I'm pretty certain that it's very similar angle and design as the Gibson. I don't know if you can see by that. It's not very technical, but the carve on the Tokai is nice, very closely resembles the Epiphone carve. Again, you can see angles. The angle of the dangle is pretty much the same. So the Tokai, yeah, is meant to be a knockoff, a close copy of the Gibson Les Paul. So very close to the Epiphone in design and look. Whereas the Sire is a revamp, not a close copy. Got a very pointy horn. It's got this cutaway on the back. Built for comfort. Now, it's interesting. I say, yeah, it's probably built for comfort, but actually, this guitar is the least comfortable of the lot. partly to do with the weight of it. Now this weighs 9 pounds and 6 ounces. 9 pounds and 6 ounces. That's a heavy Les Paul. You can feel it straight away, and look, you can whoa, you know, I'm struggling to actually hold that, and you can feel that in your lap straight away. You really feel the weight when you're playing it. Whereas the Epiphone's £8.14, so quite a lot lighter. And I think that makes a difference to me. Same with the Tokai. This is £8.11, so it's a nice weight for a Les Paul. In my opinion, of course, a lot of people like heavy Les Pauls. So just, you know, it's, you know, that might, you know, it might be a good thing, might be a bad thing. So, but these feel nice. They're nice and comfortable to play. Neck-wise, the Tokai and the Sire are fairly close. Fairly close. Now, I'll run up all of the measurements now so you can see the differences and the profiles. The profile on the Tokai and the Sire is definitely what I would call a medium C, probably. Whereas the Epiphone has got, well, it's a 50s neck, you know, and it is meant to be chunkier. And you can see that it is chunkier by, you know, a good, it's actually wider as well at the nut. It's almost a millimetre wider at the nut, and actually down at the 12th fret. So the Epiphone's a little bit wider, and it's a little bit deeper, so much fuller. Got a, you know, much bigger shoulder on that as well, because it's what I would call a D shape. So that's that. And also, you know, staying on the necks as well. Obviously, the Epiphone has got a pretty thick poly finish, and that's all you can say about it. It feels like a thick poly finish. It's not sticky in the way that a Gibson Nitro finish is. That is a thing, you know. I think one of the downsides of a Gibson Nitro finishes, their necks can be quite sticky, and they never dry. This is dried. It's baked in, it's poly. You know, it feels all right. Tokai, well, it's pretty much the same, really, to be honest with you. Pretty much the same, a little bit thinner. Sire, however, is, as you can see, it's satin. Very, very smooth and slick. Fast. A lot of people will like that. Me, for some reason, I prefer the feel of the Tokai in this bunch. I prefer the feel of the Tokai. So I like the feel of the back like that. I prefer the feel of the back. On this Les Paul, anyway, I prefer the feel of a bit of varnish on there to the smoothness of the Sire. And I think I actually prefer this neck to the clubby Epiphone one. I think that's because I like fat necks. I really like fat necks. But I think because the Epiphone's got a kind of a D shape to it, I find this C-shaped is more comfortable. There you go. Obviously the pickups and all the electronics and the QC and you know, all the technical stuff we've gone through in the individual reviews. So, you know, this is really just a kind of a quickish comparison to you know, to maybe help you decide. obviously, in this comparison today, I'm not trying to work out which one's better than the others, because there isn't one that's better than the others. They're all different, and the one that's best is the one that you prefer, the look of, or the sound of, or the price of, or even one that's available. You know, it's not so easy to just say, oh well, I'll get that these days, because as I said, the Tokai is quite hard to come by in a lot of different countries, in most countries by all accounts. The Sire is, I don't even know if it's still available in the States. A lot of people have said they're looking forward to it being released. I'm sure it will be rolled out, because the Sire range is doing tremendously well in certainly in the UK. Epiphone is available everywhere, but they keep running out. So I suppose Epiphone is the easy choice, and what we've discovered through a lot of Epiphone reviews on this channel, too many according to a lot of people. There's a lot of Epiphone. We review a lot of Epiphones because it's a hugely popular guitar and people want to know what we think of them, I suppose. So Epiphones do get a lot of airtime, but they deserve it, because they're really good for the money. They're really good for the money. And I suppose they've raised their game in the face of competition like this, because Tokai have been competition for Gibson in particular for years and years and years. And I suppose this one, the affordable Chinese version, is the direct competition to Epiphone's Chinese models. Summary. The Tokai, I really like the Tokai. It's the most Gibson-like. It's the most Gibson-like, bizarrely enough, in this three. Weaknesses in the electronics, but it feels great and it plays great. And my favourite neck is the Tokai. Epiphone, you can't go wrong with the Epiphone. You know, it's everything you want in a Les Paul. Particularly the wiring's great in this. Pro Bucker pickups, you know, great, do the job. Nice chunky neck if you like a bit of that. But they also do this in the 60s version, which has got a slimmer neck as well. What I don't like more increasingly is the D shape that the Epiphone necks have, and it's not until you play a C shaped alongside it that you realise, I think, that yeah, they're not as comfortable, for me at least. If you saw the review I did of this Sire, and if you didn't, there's the link. I didn't get excited about this guitar, and I'm still not excited about it. It's certainly a lot of guitar for the money, and if you've got one or you get one, you know, it's a great guitar. It's just it didn't excite me. You know, it's just not traditional enough, I suppose, and I'm a bit old school. You know, and it's too heavy. It put me up the minute I got it out of the box. I thought, oh, blimey. And you know what? It's the truth. I thought, I'm going to send that back. It's too heavy. Because £10 Les Pauls and me, not interested. I had a Gibson Les Paul Standard, which weighed over £10. I had it for years, never played it, and eventually sold it. I've never even thought about it, really. Well, I have now because I've just mentioned it, obviously, but you know, I'm not interested. £10? Get out of here. I'm getting old. My back cannot cope with this. You know, this is borderline 9.6, but I can feel the weight when I'm playing it, and it's you know, it's something. It's hefty, hefty, hefty. Yeah. So let me know what you think. Comments below, or why don't you take a look at our new forum? We've got a new forum going on, which is pretty exciting, to be honest with you, because it's far more interactive. You know, if I'm not there to answer your questions, there's people on there that know a lot more about this stuff than I do, that can probably help you. This is all on our new Vimeo OTT channel, which is, the link's below, but the address, you know, it's a web address, theguitaristas.vhx.tv. Yeah, there it is there. So it's a subscription channel. It's like $4.99 a month. After, you get 30 days free. So try it out. You might be asking, why have I got to pay for this? Well, you haven't got to. You don't have to go there at all. You can just stay here and watch it all free on YouTube, just the same. But if you want to support the channel a little bit more, if you like what we're doing and you want to support it, you can check the other place out and watch all of these films without any adverts. So that's kind of what I give you back in return for your $5 a month. But also we've got this great forum going on, which is it's kind of, well, it could be quite exciting. So I'm looking forward to that. So, you know, come and join us over there. Check us out for free for a month if you like. And if you don't like it, you know, don't. Oh, and watch all the stuff on here as well. Okay. I'm not deserting you. It's just, you know, just we're expanding the community basically, and that's a way of doing it. So yeah, good. Have I done that? I'm not very good at doing these plugs, am I? Moving on. Okay, let's leave it there. Let's wrap this baby up. Thanks again for joining us wherever you're watching me. Thanks again. It's been a pleasure. I hope that's been useful. Something. Let me know. Let me know what you think in the comments, or in the forum at the other place. And I look forward to catching up with you later and seeing you again next week. Okay. Cheers for now. See you then. Bye.